to rewind, a very big namani, Mani Napudni, Nari Emily Bourke, Ghana Mina Nunajul, Ghana Yata Tempaninthi. I really want to welcome everyone here today. It's so fantastic. As I was saying earlier, we have the Honourable Nat Cook, who's the Minister for Human Services. We have the Honourable Tammy Franks, who is here from the Greens, and we also have our new councillor, Tammy, who's just been elected. So that's fantastic news. I was just saying earlier that my position has created a vehicle. This vehicle has been created through years and years and years of advocacy from your community. And I am grateful that you continue to fight for this, because now we are having the opportunity to have these discussions and those discussions to be heard. So as I said, my role is create the vehicle, but you are the drivers. The people in this room are the drivers, the people online are the drivers, the people outside of this building are also the drivers from within your community. And this is something as a government we're really proud of, that we are here to listen and to hear, but also make sure that what you are saying is acted upon. Nat, you want to hand over to?
Thank you. I feel like it's
I wonder what you're going to say.
I don't. It's a little bit Groundhog Day. I might also do in language. Namani, Nanari Nat Katanya Cook, Mani Nadli Tempinti, Nadli Ghana Yatunga Tikanti. The land is stolen. I acknowledge all elders past, present and emerging. And also thank all people in this room for your advocacy that's been relentless and has clearly culminated in a position now where we want to make sure that your voice is elevated and it becomes part of the dialogue and the narrative where we aspire to and reach inclusion in our community for not just the autistic and autism community, but for others as well. Today I hosted a transgender event in Parliament where we talked through the history of transgender, a marginalised community that has been in our society for thousands and thousands of years, and still is fighting for equity, still is fighting for a voice and inclusion and just to be considered part of what is an entitlement, our community. So I know that from our point of view, we are prepared to do whatever it is that we can to ensure that all communities have got equal voice and frame and support policies. I don't know whether, did you acknowledge Tammy? I'll acknowledge Tammy Franks from the upper house as well, who is a warrior for inclusion and equity, and we thoroughly enjoy working alongside Tammy and Rob Sims, her co-conspirator in the upper house for equality and human rights. So thank you so much for what you've done already, and my commitment to you is that as the Minister for Human Services, I will put whatever resources in that I can to ensure that Emily and your community, our community, can work together on this.
Excellent. And as I said previously, that this has been recorded. So both Nat and Tammy have multiple events on tonight. So this is a Parliament sitting night. So people are torn in lots of different directions. So they will be staying for as long as they can, but also listening to what the outcome was through the recording. Now, as I said previously, which you wouldn't have heard, our microphone needs to be on. But if the 300 odd people that are online, if you could have that on mute, that would be fantastic. So thank you. And I now want to hand over to the two people that have made this possible today. We have had many discussions, which has been fantastic, and I want to hand over to Georgia and Angelique, but before doing that, I said previously, thank you so much for everything that you have done. You've brought this community together very, very quickly and made this event possible, so I just wanted to say thank you for bringing us here today and for us to be able to hear from the community and also act on that through our policies as well. Thank you.
Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. My name is Georgia Joy. I probably don't need to check that you're hearing now. Hopefully that is working. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who has joined the Autism and Making Space event. We're really excited and a little bit nervous to be here. Okay. Also, just make sure your microphones are off as well. Thank you. All right. Next slide. Oh, no. All right. We would like to acknowledge that we are meeting on Kaurna lands. We would like to pay our respects to Kaurna elders past, present and emerging. We would like to acknowledge that this always was and always will be Kaurna country. We would like to acknowledge that sovereignty has never been ceded. And I would like to acknowledge the historic and current impact that colonisation has on this country. I would like to acknowledge that we all have a role to play in making change and that we all need to educate ourselves about the truth and history of this country. We would like to acknowledge those who are on other First Nations watching today and to acknowledge all First Nations people who are joining us. I would like to thank the Honourable Emily Bourke for hosting this event and for having us here today. We really appreciate it. We are so excited to be here and thank you to Emily and the team. Thank you so much to our speakers who have joined us in person, Meg Riley, Sunny Jane Wise and Tammy Sinclair, and to those who have joined us online, Shania Mupotsa Russell, Sam Rose, Melanie Hayworth, Millie Ingham, Tim Chan, Lana Doyle and Lauren Kabat. And we would like to thank our in-person autistic advocate guests who are here as well. Today we have more than 300 people watching online, and previously we were joined by the Honourable Nat Cook, Minister for Human Services, and a representative of Bill Shorten's office, Minister for the NDIS. We really appreciate you both being here, and we're sad that Peter Malinaskis and Blair Boyer were not able to join. We would like to acknowledge that some of the topics discussed today are challenging and may be confronting. If you do not have the spoons, you can check the run sheet to see which presentations would be best for you not to watch at this time. After this introduction, I will hand over to Angelique, who will talk for around 7 minutes, presenting the report from our survey results. This will lead into our main discussion. Each speaker is actually autistic and has been invited to speak for 5 minutes. The purpose of this is to provide an overview of important topics on the autistic lived experience, topics that are often missed in conversations about us. All of the speakers have volunteered their unpaid time, research, lived experiences and expertise. We hope that each introduction encourages you, the online viewers, the ministers in the room and those who are not in the room to seek deeper knowledge on these topics after the event and for each topic to be considered when you are making policy decisions that will impact us, our communities and our children. This event is scheduled to go for 90 minutes, an hour and a half, with a Q&A for those in the room at the close of the event. We are here today because we felt that more actually autistic adult voices and autistic-led research was needed in this ministry and this discussion. This prompted us to start a survey of autistic people on their views of the ministry and to share their lived experiences. Angelique and I are so proud to have created our survey, the survey report and this companion event. And we still have a survey open on autistic joy and safe and meaningful workplaces. We hope and ask that the decision makers in this room and those who are not in this room meaningfully consider the knowledge we are sharing with you today, unpaid, when you are making policy decisions about us. Thank you. I'll now hand over to Angelique.